topic of today's article involves tequila.
Yeah, in part, yes.
So people are probably going to be expecting a drinking video.
Yeah, because we've not done one of those in a while, have we? People might be thinking this might be a drinking video, so it's a good job that it is, eh? Yeah. With the rising cost of fuel being an ever-present concern for car owners and the depressingly slow uptake of electric vehicles, you probably found yourself thinking at one point or another, wouldn't it be great if they invented a car that ran on any old thing you found lying around your house? Weirdly, that exact kind of car did exist over 50 years ago and it never caught on.
So, which car are we talking about?
We're talking about the Chrysler turbine car, a wonder vehicle capable of running on almost any kind of fuel imaginable, that required almost no maintenance whatsoever and possessed an engine so durable and advanced it could be used as a substitute for a heart transplant for Optimus Prime.
That car sounds future as balls, like the Mr. Fusion.
It does, doesn't it? Like, that sounds like the kind of shit that Robin Williams was driving in the Flubber movie, doesn't it? It's like a car that runs on any kind of fuel, requires no maintenance, and basically has an engine that lasts forever. What the fuck is this? No, this vehicle existed over 50 years ago.
So this thing was called the Chrysler turbine car.
Yeah, I should probably clarify, not turbo car.
I thought it was turbo car.
I could see the confusion in your eyes then, and I could also think, oh yeah, I've had a few today. Maybe people don't know it's turbine car. As the name suggests, instead of like a regular conventional piston engine, it had a turbine, not dissimilar to the kind you'd find on fucking jet planes. While admittedly this engine was like, slightly more expensive than a conventional engine and paradoxically put out less power, it was superior in almost every other way imaginable.
Yeah, because it's a jet car. Who wouldn't want to drive around in a jet car?
That's the thing, I need to point out, this thing existed half a century ago. It sounds so future. It sounds like something you'd read in a magazine from the 50s about what they predict cars to be like today. And it's like, no, they're still exactly the same. They just roll over and explode a bit less. It's like, no, fuck you, they had this car in the 50s and 60s. Bollocks, why is it not a thing today?
You know what made me buy this car though? Like, my money would go straight out if, when you start it up, it goes...
It did.
Like an actual jet.
It's a turbine engine. And the thing as well is, I'd buy it if it looked exactly like the Homer from Simpsons. Do you know that ugly monstrosity piece of shit that's bright green with the giant stupid Ariel on it?
The Homer.
If anyone out there is like, oh no, but I need to hear the roar of my engine. Just think how much cooler it sounds when you sound like a fucking Harrier jet taking off. That's fucking baller as shit, innit? A turbo rocket car. It sounds like science fiction, but it's real. And do you know why it sounds like science fiction?
Why?
Because it ran on anything. But we'll get to that in a moment because there's other cool shit this engine did that needs to be talked about.
So I'm assuming there's car enthusiasts out there who are wondering, why would I want this engine, aside from the sound? Why would I want this engine and not other engines?
Because once this engine was installed in your car, it required almost no maintenance whatsoever. And also, due to the design of the turbine, you didn't require a radiator or a cooling system, and the engine worked in all environments and required no special care to work in either hot or cold temperature or dust or any of that shit. It's a jet engine, it don't fucking matter. Nothing's stopping the turbine car.
The thing is though, what would you do if it broke down? Because I imagine the AA can't do anything about that shit.
It's too advanced. Well, that's the thing. They didn't break down. Ever. These cars could go for years before needing maintenance. Like, you could drive the arse off one for 2 years straight before you even had to think about going in and maybe getting the engine checked. Like, can anyone out there honestly say they'd do the same with their car right now? Like, you'd have to check the tyres more when you check the fucking engine. Like, the upholstery would need replacing before the engine fucking did. That's how good this engine was.
You keep boasting though that this car can run on anything.
Yes, and that is, to me, the most astounding part of this vehicle, because for starters, it could run happily on both diesel and petrol. And anyone who's drives a car knows if you accidentally put either of those things in the wrong engine, that will fuck up your engine forever. That engine is a complete write-off if you do it, 'cause it gets into all the systems. No, the turbine car, either or, it's fine. Never again we have to queue at the petrol station. Just go up to whichever one's fucking got the shortest queue. It doesn't fucking matter. The engine will run on it. The only form of petrol that they said it didn't work with very well was leaded petrol, which isn't even a thing anymore because the lead would clog up the insides of the engine.
Yeah.
And the thing to keep in mind is the car would run on it. It's just that the engineers said you have to clean it out more, and that's a bit of a ball ache. Use it if you need to in an emergency, but we'd recommend using any other fucking fuel source imaginable.
Everything you've mentioned so far, though, is fuel.
Exactly, yeah. So you're not impressed?
Not really.
Okay, how about if I told you the engine also ran on peanut oil? And perfume. And hairspray. And I'm guessing as well that if the engineers work on it would have had time, it would also be able to work like that car in The Simpsons that's powered by the owner's own sense of self-satisfaction.
It's a go-kart powered by my own sense of self-satisfaction.
What is the connecting thread between these different things you've mentioned? Because I can't see any way that peanut oil, perfume, and hairspray link together.
Yeah, and why would they work as fuel in this like weird car? It's because they were all combustible, and that's the rub with the kind of fuel you could put into the engine. Like, it would run on anything so long as that thing was combustible. So it wouldn't run on water.
Yeah.
But if you had something that was combustible like perfume, hairspray, peanut oil, or alcohol, the car would happily run on it without issue.
So it can run on alcohol, combustible alcohol.
Yes.
Why in the title, though, have you specified tequila?
Because the most famous example of the car's, reputation for running on nearly any kind of fuel source, as long as that fuel source is combustible, is the time it was demonstrated to the then president of Mexico, Adolfo Mateo. And he was shown one of the cars, and while driving in it, casually asked the Chrysler engineer with him, would this car run on tequila? And they were very curious about this fact, and they called up Chrysler head office in Detroit and asked the engineers there, will this engine, or will we fuck up this engine by pouring tequila into it? And apparently an intern ran down to the store, bought a few litres of tequila, ran it through the test engine they had, saw that it worked without issue, reported back, and they said to the president of Mexico, yes, it will work if you can pour tequila into this car and it will work. So the president of Mexico then ordered one of his aides to go get some tequila, poured it into the car, and they drove away. Which means that at one point in history, the president of Mexico was cruising around in a car powered by tequila. Yeah! And the thing is though, I hope that everyone watching at home is now thinking what I'm thinking. That is, why can't I be like that moment in The Simpsons where Homer imagines the alcohol car, and I am doing shots alongside my car to power it.
One for you, one for me, one for you, one for me.
I love the idea of cars being like fucking drunk college girls, and they're just they're powered by alcohol. Imagine the Jaeger car. Imagine the cross promotion. Do you know the Red Bull car that drives around? Imagine the Jaeger car, and you got the Jaeger Chrysler car driving around the Red Bull car. Imagine if they crashed. And all the Red Bull and Jaeger mixes together. And it's that goes down in history as the greatest moment university students ever witnessed. This could be a thing. Imagine the possibility. Don't you have Formula One and shit like that? And they're all sponsored like Benson and Hedges and cigarette companies. No, I want to see a Formula One car powered by booze, sponsored by that manufacturer. And imagine as well how much nicer cities would smell if all you've got is just everyone's driving out with Chanel No. 5 powering their car. If we're an obsession for men coming out the back, you could make it part of your woman pulling repertoire. You pull up to the date and you make sure your car is powered by a bit of Tom Ford. So you got the sandalwood smell coming there, get into your car. It smells really nice in here. And you go, yes. Yes, it does.
I get that maybe when the one car pulls up being fueled by Laboratoire Garnier, it smell nice, but I'm thinking now it's going to be more like when you come down after a house party in the morning, and it's just the smell of the combination of everyone's leftover alcohol
but at the same
and whatever
time,
they were wearing the night before.
Would that really smell any worse than what a car's exhaust normally fucking smells like?
True.
Yeah. Not to mention as well, imagine how cool it'd be when you're in a city, instead of just hearing beep 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 beep, you say, it's just like in the Jetsons. It'd be fucking sick.
So why is this jet-powered car? Why didn't it take off?
Oh, there it is. There it is. I'm lowering your wages for this month. But no, if anyone's currently out there thinking, why, Karl, man on my internet screen, why can't I go outside and pour a bottle of vodka into my indestructible wonder car and drive to work? And that's because, for some reason, as Brad mentioned, the technology never took off. And a grand total of about 50 Chrysler turbine cars were made before, inexplicably, Chrysler decided that the technology wasn't worth pursuing anymore. And do you know what they did? They crushed every prototype of the car, bar a few that survived because they were at shows and things like that. Apparently, no one fucking wanted to pursue this idea, and the few cars that survived, the car equivalent of the Purge, are now just novelties and curios amongst car collectors, instead of being something that people look at and go, Why do we not fucking just... This should be every car in existence right now. Like, Elon Musk should not be making Teslas. He should be making fucking, like, Jägermobiles. I don't care a fuck.
I'm sensing interference from fuel companies.
Are you suggesting that giant multi-billion-dollar companies who, like, you know, make billions in profits from fuel saw this thing as a threat and quietly crushed it?
I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Well, that's a silly idea, Brad. And while that is a theory that's flown around, that one I personally trust, because fucking hell, like, the alcohol-powered car sounds amazing. The official line from Chrysler is that the car had poor fuel mileage and was inefficient, and gave out a lot of emissions. So yeah, I'd like to counter by saying it's a car that runs on alcohol, but hey, I'm not a car scientist. I don't know what the details were, but that sounds fishy as fuck to me.
Should probably clarify as well, like, that bottle came onto the camera with, like, very little left in it.
Yeah, one shot left.
Yeah, but when it was about half full, wasn't it?
Yeah, when we were downstairs deciding what article to do. People may have been wondering, like, why have there not been, like, drinking videos on a Friday in a while? Because I mentioned it on Twitter, but obviously not the entire channel's viewership follows me on there, although they should.
Yeah, every single one of you watch it. just see your Twitter increase by like 100,000.
I've not got 400,000 people following me on Twitter by the end of this video. I'll be disappointed. But it's because I'm cutting down on the old alcohols because I realised I was getting a bit fat. I want to go back to being, I think the word I've used with my mates is I want to be lean Karl. Lean Karl's coming back. I need to do it. So one day I just looked in the mirror and went, there's a little bit there. I'm going to the gym 5 times a week. What is it? I went, oh, I'm having like 15 pints in a week. Maybe I should just stop drinking casually and in videos. So we've cut down. And if people are wondering why have the Fact Fiend focused then? Why are you drinking in them? Because we recorded like 6 in a day a month ago, where I got so hammered that like Brad basically had to leave me downstairs. And I don't want to get in that state anymore. There's a video went up the other day and I forgot that we'd done it because I was so drunk when we did it and it was like 4 weeks ago. I was like, oh, I don't even remember being in this one. But yeah, that's the reason why you won't be seeing many drinking videos coming out at the time. But I think we should just go back to when they were special, when we did it randomly instead of it being like a weekly thing. So if you expect it, it's not as funny. And the element of humour is surprise. And if you know it's going to be a Friday, it's going to be a drinking video, that's like, there's no surprise there, is there?
The element of humour is surprise.
It is.
So I'm going to drink on random days.
Yeah, well, mate, wasn't this video a special experience? Wasn't this video made all the more interesting? Like, we missed so much stuff off that script. Because we were too busy talking about this, like, alcohol-powered wonder car. And I was getting too hype at the idea of just, like, a car pounding Jaeger. Like, the idea of, like, shot girls driving around in cars. And I was, like, just, like, leaning out the window, just pouring it into a big funnel.
And see, I'm imagining police being, like... imagine if that car was everywhere, and the police are driving around and see people walking up to their cars with, like, a drink. It's like, what are you doing, mate? I'm filming a car up. Just necking it.
Yeah, one for me, one for you. Homer Simpson style. But it's a good laugh, and I hope everyone enjoyed the video, and you have a great week.